mountains of America hide secrets that make no sense. Two people, two paths, one ended in tragedy, the other returned, but remembered nothing. Some places draw people in and never let them go. And one of those places is Donald Vista Point in Sierra Nevada, California. What looks peaceful from afar hides a pattern no one can explain. On the morning of August 7th, 2013, professional photographer Christina Newell reached Donald Vista Lookout at dawn. She came to capture the sunrise, unaware that 3 others had already vanished there before her. Later that day, her car was found locked. Her phone and keys sat inside. Christina herself was gone. 47 days later, searchers found only her shoes near the edge of a cliff. The rest of her was never found. Christina was known for landscape photography. Her goal was to photograph the sunrise over Donald Reservoir, one of the most stunning views in the Sierra Nevada. She didn't know she would become the 4th missing person in 8 years at that exact spot. Donald Vista Point sits at 6,900 feet above sea level, deep inside the Stanislaus National Forest. A rough 7.5-mile dirt road leads from Highway 108 to a small parking area. Then a steep 1,300-foot trail goes down to the viewing platform. The view opens to a calm emerald lake surrounded by gray cliffs and dark pine trees. Beautiful, but deceiving. Since 2005, 3 people had already disappeared within a small radius of that viewpoint. On June 23, 2005, 24-year-old Nita Mayo, a college student from Sacramento, went missing. On September 15, 2010, Patricia Tolhurst, aged 52, a skilled hiker from Modesto, vanished during a short walk. Then on May 11, 2012, 37-year-old Breck Phelps, a wildlife biologist, was last seen near the same point. No bodies were ever found, no personal items, no tracks. Each case ended the same way, silence and nothing more. Forest Ranger Molly Fuller, who had worked the area for almost 20 years, told a local paper, "There is no logical reason for why this place. The terrain is tough, yes, but not worse than other parts of Sierra Nevada. People park, step out, and vanish. It's not normal." The statement summed up the unease shared by locals and rescuers alike. Christina left San Francisco before dawn. Data later recovered from her phone showed she arrived at Donald Vista parking lot at 7:12 a.m. That day, as sunrise had been at 6:40. She may have stopped along the way to take pictures, something she often did. Christina usually worked alone, focused and patient, avoiding distractions. Her fiancé, Michael Strand, told detectives that she had shared her plan with him. She was leaving early, staying there for a few hours and returning by lunch, he said. They had planned to meet at 1 in the afternoon. She was always on time. When she didn't answer my calls by 2, I knew something was wrong. At 2:30 p.m., Michael called the Tuolumne County Sheriff's Office to report her missing. The officer on duty explained that missing person cases for adults required a 24-hour delay. Michael insisted, reminding them of the disappearances in the same area. His persistence worked. By 4:45 p.m., Deputy Sheriff Robert Milan was at Donald Vista Point. Christina's silver Honda Accord was the only car there. The vehicle was locked, and through the window he saw a bag on the seat, her phone on the center console, and her car keys in the cup holder. He instantly sensed trouble. If Christina had gone to the viewpoint, she would have taken her phone and keys. A photographer never left gear behind. Milan followed the trail, calling her name, but no one answered. The deck was empty, clean, and undisturbed. No camera, no footprints, no signs anyone had been there. Returning to the car, he requested permission to open it. By 5:30 p.m., another deputy and ranger, Molly Fuller, had joined him. They unlocked the car and searched inside. Christina's bag held her wallet, ID, and cards. The phone was 73% charged. The last call was an unanswered one from Michael at 12:48 p.m. The car keys were still in the cup holder, exactly as seen through the window. Something else stood out, the absence of her camera. Christina's family confirmed she always carried her Canon 5D Mark III and lenses in a backpack. Neither the camera nor the backpack was in the car, meaning she had taken them with her. But where did she go, and why did she never return? By 8:00 p.m., 12 people were already on the scene. Deputies, forest rangers, and local rescue volunteers began a coordinated search. The sun had set and darkness spread fast across the mountains. The air grew cold, the forest silent. Flashlights cut through the fog, but not a trace appeared. No tracks, no broken branches, nothing. The next morning, helicopters joined the search, scanning the reservoir and surrounding cliffs. Sniffer dogs traced her scent from the parking lot down the path, but it ended abruptly halfway to the viewpoint, as if she had simply stopped existing. Over the next several days, the operation expanded. Drones, divers, and rescue teams combed every corner within miles, yet nothing surfaced. Her disappearance was as clean as if she had never been there at all. Locals whispered about the place being cursed, but investigators could only write missing, no evidence. Donald Vista Point had claimed another victim. For Christina's family, hope faded slowly. Her fiancé stayed near the site for days, watching search teams move through the forest. Every morning he returned to the same spot where her car once stood, unable to leave. What happened to her remained a mystery no one could solve. Another unanswered question in the long list of vanishings in the Sierra Nevada. Captain David Morales, head of the operation, led one of the largest searches in the Sierra Nevada. The plan was direct: clear every inch of the trail to the lookout and the land around it. Dozens of rescuers moved with flashlights and thermal cameras through the dark. The 400-meter path from the parking lot to the wooden deck was searched in full, yet the ground, hardened by years of footsteps, held no footprints. No items, no signs of a fall or fight. Nothing. The platform itself looked untouched, silent under the morning fog. No damage, no hint of Christina. On August 8th, 4 trained dogs were brought in. They were given her clothing, handled by her fiancé to trace her scent. All 4 sniffed the car, then began along the trail. After 20 meters, each stopped, confused. They circled, whined, and sat down. Their guide, Thomas Erickson, a man with 22 years of experience, said later, "They picked up her scent and then it vanished. Not faded, vanished. I've never seen that before." By the 3rd day, the search widened. Over 280 people joined. Helicopters flew above, their heat scanners sweeping valleys and cliffs. Climbers scaled granite faces. Teams searched ravines filled with brush. Captain Morales described the land as brutal. Deep canyons, sharp ridges, sudden drops, pine forests, and granite walls. Streams crossed the slopes before running into the reservoir below. The area looked endless. Detective Sarah Bishop took charge of the investigation. Her first theory was simple misfortune. Christina may have stepped off trail for a better view and fallen. It fit, but no sign of her was ever found. The second idea pointed to crime. Maybe she was attacked or kidnapped. Yet her car was locked, her wallet untouched, no signs of struggle. Cameras from the closest gas station, 22 miles away, recorded only her silver Honda passing at 6:42 a.m. No car followed. No one suspicious appeared in footage. The third option, voluntary disappearance, was dismissed fast. Christina had no reason to run. She was planning her October wedding, and her business was thriving. Her friends called her balanced and happy. For 3 long weeks, hundreds kept searching. Helicopters circled daily. Drones scanned the forest canopy. Divers checked the reservoir. By August 28th, the search was ended. At a press meeting, Captain Morales said, "We've covered every foot within 9 miles. We used every resource. Miss Newell has not been found. The case stays open." But for her family, stopping was not an option. Her parents, Robert and Linda, and her sister Jennifer, built their own volunteer group. Every weekend, they searched the hills. A $50,000 reward was announced. Flyers appeared across towns. The press linked her disappearance to the earlier 3 cases. The name Cursed Lookout began appearing in headlines. A Sacramento journalist wrote, 4 disappearances in 8 years. 4 different people. No bodies, no clues. Something hides in these mountains. Then came September 23rd, 2013. 47 days later, Jack Harrington, a hiker from Los Angeles, was walking alone 5 miles northwest of Donald Vista. Around 2:20 p.m., he noticed something bright on a granite ledge above a 500-foot cliff. When he approached, his pulse quickened. A pair of women's hiking boots sat neatly side by side, toes pointed toward the edge. The drop below was vertical granite falling into forest. Jack froze, then called for help. Within the hour, an investigative team arrived. They photographed the boots before removing them. They were women's size 38 Salomon brand. Inside, a name tag read K. Newell. Her family confirmed she labeled her things that way. The boots were still in good shape, only light dirt and vegetation on them. Experts said they hadn't fallen or been tossed, but had been placed there with care. This single discovery changed everything. A team of climbers descended the cliff wall, checking ledges and cracks. Dogs searched the canyon floor below. For 5 days, they worked from sunrise to dark. Nothing else surfaced. No camera, no clothes, no backpack, no body. Detective Bishop sought outside advice. She turned to Dr. Michael Turner, a psychologist who studied missing person behavior. He proposed 3 possibilities. The first was a mental state called silent panic. Sometimes when lost, people become disoriented, start removing clothing, or wander aimlessly. But the weather was mild, and Christina was healthy and well prepared. It didn't match. The second idea was stranger. Turner described zones in remote wilderness that seemed to distort human sense of direction. People walk in circles, time slips, sound fades. Many end up far from where they started, unable to recall how. He called them black zones. He had read reports of similar vanishings in mountain regions from Colorado to Oregon. But even that couldn't explain why all scent and trace stopped 20 meters from Christina's car. His third suggestion unsettled investigators. Perhaps another person familiar with the forest used the land to hide movements. Turner said, "If a human hand was involved, it was someone who knows these woods like home." The statement echoed in every report afterward. It gave shape to the unease already spreading through the search teams. Days later, new volunteers combed the area again. They found nothing, not even broken branches or fragments of gear. Some rescuers began to whisper theories about strange lights, sounds, or unseen forces. Officially, the investigation stayed grounded in evidence, but there was none. The forest stayed silent. For Christina's family, grief turned into endurance. Her fiancé, Michael, visited the site every week. Locals left flowers by the parking lot sign. Even years later, no answers came. The only clue ever recovered were those boots, left like a final message at the edge of the world, facing down toward the canyon where every logical path ends. The mountains hide more than beauty. They hold secrets that chill the blood. One strange clue often left behind in disappearances is a pair of shoes. When rescuers find them neatly placed, miles from where someone vanished, it points to something deeper than confusion. In extreme cold, hypothermia can twist the mind. Victims sometimes feel a sudden burst of heat and start removing clothes, unaware their body is freezing. It's called paradoxical undressing, and it could have been what happened to Christina Newell. If Christina spent the night unprotected in the Sierra Nevada mountains, the temperature could have dropped to 32 degrees Fahrenheit. That level of cold can drain the body fast, turning clear thought into panic. Yet even this theory raised more questions than it answered. How could she have walked over 5 miles from where she disappeared? Why did she stop, remove only her shoes, and set them down so neatly? And if hypothermia took her life, where was her body? Christina's name still sits in the National Crime Information Center database. Her case remains open, and her photo still circulates among missing persons alerts. From time to time, people report seeing a woman who looks just like her in distant cities. Each report is investigated, but none have ever led to her. Every lead fades and every hope turns back into silence. A year after Christina vanished, Ranger Molly Fuller quit her job. She had searched those mountains for too long, and the weight of every missing person haunted her. In her final interview, she said quietly, "I can't work there anymore. 4 people disappeared during my watch. I feel like I failed them all. This place takes people, and we don't know why." Her words lingered like an echo through the forest. The disappearance of Christina Newell remains one of the most haunting mysteries of the Sierra Nevada. The peaks stand tall and silent, as if guarding something that cannot be spoken. The mountains give no answers, only whispers of what might have happened, and sometimes they refuse to give their secrets back. But Christina's story is not the only one. On October 2nd, 2024, another experienced outdoorsman vanished under equally strange circumstances. Robert Hansen, a 46-year-old geologist and veteran of the Olympic Mountain Rescue Team, set out on what should have been a routine 2-day solo hike in Washington's Olympic National Park. For him, the Seven Lakes area was familiar ground. He had explored it over 50 times before. No one expected that a rescuer would become the one in need of rescue. Robert planned to camp overnight by Lake Hawk, a quiet lake ringed by thick evergreens and cold granite cliffs. He signed in at the ranger station early that morning, logged his route, and shared his estimated return time. Everything was by the book. The weather was mild for October, partly cloudy, about 50 degrees Fahrenheit, and calm winds. That afternoon, he texted his wife Linda to say he had reached the lake and set up camp. His message ended with a reassuring note: "All good. Beautiful view." Then the connection died, as it often did in the mountains. Linda wasn't worried. Robert was used to poor signal. He often went a day or two without contact. 3 days later, when he didn't return or call in, Linda contacted his rescue team. Captain Stephen Riley, Robert's longtime friend and fellow rescuer, led the search personally. They found his camp exactly where he said it would be. His tent was properly pitched, gear organized, food supplies untouched. The sleeping bag was unzipped from the inside, suggesting he had gotten up in the night. His boots were placed neatly by the tent's entrance, as if he meant to come right back. Inside the tent lay something that made the rescuers uneasy: his GPS tracker. Robert never hiked without it. The device's data showed that at 3:17 a.m., movement began northward at a speed of 7 miles per hour. That was far too fast for a man on foot, especially in pitch darkness through uneven forest terrain. The signal continued for 2.5 miles before stopping in the middle of dense rainforest. Captain Riley thought maybe the tracker malfunctioned, but something about the setup felt wrong. Robert could have stepped outside to relieve himself and become disoriented, but why would he leave the tracker behind? Search operations began immediately. More than 80 people, rangers, volunteers, and Robert's own colleagues, spread through the area. Drones, search dogs, and helicopters equipped with thermal cameras joined the effort. The Olympic rainforest is one of the densest environments in the country, filled with thick moss, fallen logs, and endless shadows. As the weather turned bad, the search became harder. Rain poured. Temperatures dropped to near 37 degrees Fahrenheit, and night after night the forest swallowed sound. Robert had left all his gear behind, meaning he was exposed to the cold with almost no protection. Every hour reduced his odds of survival. Detective Emily Chen from the Jefferson County Sheriff's Office believed he might have fallen or been injured. But as the days passed and the search expanded to cover more than 180 square miles, not a single clue was found. It was as if Robert had vanished into the trees. 19 days after he disappeared, a group of hunters stumbled upon something impossible. In the Bogashell River Valley, 17 miles from Robert's original camp, they spotted a man sitting motionless beneath a large spruce tree. It was Robert. Hunter Mark Davidson later said, "We saw a man sitting still like he'd been waiting for something. When we got closer, he didn't react at first. He sat motionless, eyes fixed on something unseen, as if lost between worlds. When the hunters shouted his name, there was no answer. Only when they came close did he blink, slowly turning his head. His expression was blank, detached. Robert Hansen, the man who had saved dozens of lives in these same mountains, had now become a mystery himself. He was airlifted to Harborview Hospital in Seattle. Doctors found his body frail and spent. He had lost 35 pounds. His skin was covered with scratches and bruises, his muscles weak from exhaustion and cold. Yet strangely, his feet were uninjured, though he had been found barefoot in the forest. Dr. Alice Martinez, the neurologist who examined him, said his condition showed extreme stress. Blood tests revealed very high levels of cortisol and adrenaline. His body had been in survival mode for days. Robert could not remember what had happened. His memory stopped at the moment he went to sleep in his tent. Everything after that vanished. His next clear memory was waking under the tree, seeing strangers staring at him. The gap between those two moments was 19 full days of blank silence. Psychologist Dr. Kenneth Walsh explained what could have happened. The brain, he said, has ways of protecting itself from unbearable fear or trauma. When it cannot process an experience, it erases it. It hides it behind a wall so that the person can keep functioning. Something in those woods, something beyond comprehension, triggered that defense in Robert's mind. Whether it was terror, confusion, or something unseen, it was powerful enough to shut down memory itself. When doctors examined his injuries, they found 3 parallel scratches down his back. each about 14 inches long. Park biologist Jennifer Cole studied the marks. They were too wide apart to be from a bear's claws. She suggested he could have fallen against a sharp branch or rock. Maybe he was running in panic through the forest. In fear, people don't feel pain. They keep moving even when hurt. Robert stayed in the hospital for 2 weeks, regaining his strength. But the real recovery, his mind, would take far longer. A month later, he resigned from the Olympic mountain rescue team. His letter was short, almost cold. "I can no longer trust the mountains," he wrote. "I lost something there. Not just my memory, but the part of me that felt safe in the forest." His wife, Linda, told reporters that Robert was not the same man anymore. He avoided talking about the forest, avoided looking at his old hiking photos. When the wind blew through the trees outside their home, he would tense up and stare into nothing. "He doesn't remember what happened," she said quietly, "but something inside him does." Robert Hansen's case became one of the strangest in the history of mountain rescues. A man who had guided others to safety disappeared for 19 days and came back with no memory of how he survived. Doctors called it dissociative amnesia. Psychologists called it trauma. But rescuers who knew Robert said it was something else. They believed there was something in those mountains that could break even the strongest mind. 2 stories, 2 disappearances, 1 lingering question. Christina Newell, the photographer who vanished in the Sierra Nevada, and Robert Hansen, the rescuer who forgot 19 days of his life. Christina's car was found locked, her shoes placed neatly on a cliff. Robert was found barefoot, his tent untouched. Both vanished in wild places, both leaving behind no answers. Christina never came back. Her family searched for months, clinging to hope. Only her shoes remained, staring toward the endless drop of the canyon. Her case stayed open, unsolved. Ranger Molly Fuller, who had worked those mountains, left her job soon after. "This place takes people," she said, "and we don't know why." Robert did come back, but he left something behind. The part of him that loved the mountains stayed lost among the trees. He never hiked again. His letter ended with one final line. "Please understand my decision. The mountains do not explain. They do not warn. They simply exist, silent, ancient, and unmoved. They have seen generations come and go. They have kept secrets longer than humans have spoken words. The wind erases footprints. The rain washes away evidence. And the forest remembers only what it wants to. Even now, with satellites, drones, and GPS, people still vanish without a trace. The world we think we have conquered still hides corners untouched by logic. There are places where nature bends time, memory, and reason. The stories of Christina Newell and Robert Hansen remind us that nature is not cruel. It is indifferent. It does not care if we understand. If you've ever heard of similar disappearances or faced something you couldn't explain in the wilderness, share your story in the comments. Stay alert when you go into the wild. Take nothing for granted, because once you step into those mountains, you are not in control anymore. Nature does not forgive mistakes, and sometimes it does not give people back.